Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield?
Mr. Moya, will you yield?
Yes.
Mr. Moya yields.
Thanks, Mr. Moya. Under your bill, a couple of points I want to make, but let's say somebody was an illegal immigrant here in the country and gets arrested for, let's say, for promoting a sexual performance of a child, just to be very specific about a specific crime. Promoting a sexual performance of a child, which would under your bill that get reported to ICE?
Right. They would communicate the same way they would with any criminal investigation. If the person is arrested and they've committed a felony, that will get reported to ICE.
That will get reported, but they couldn't detain them under your bill for...
If it's a felony, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what about let's say, forcible touching? Would that, or sexual misconduct, would that get reported to ICE?
It would be before the criminal court. You know, if the judge sets bail or whatever happens from there, and you know it's on the judge's decision on how they are going to penalize the person. If they make bail, then they would have to get a judicial warrant to issue an arrest for them to be detained, and then the proceedings would begin from there.
But it's a Class A misdemeanor, so you're saying it would still possibly get reported, even with a misdemeanor?
Yeah.
Okay. What about in a case where, let's say, somebody was arrested for forcible touching or promoting a sexual performance of a child, here illegally, detained for 1 year by ICE, and then released because according to an immigration judge in 2008, this particular person I'm talking about, whose name was, well, I'll get to that in a second, but he was arrested, detained, held for a year, then released, picked back up again. So he's released after detainment for 1 year, right? He's then gone to social services, given money to move into a house down the street from a woman that he then, you know, he got picked back up again for stealing a car is what I'm getting at. I guess where I'm going with this is how does your bill help this situation at all? It seems to me...
Well, my bill wouldn't protect an individual like that.
It would not?
No.
Okay. Okay. But yet, if he had been arrested for, sexual misconduct, which is a misdemeanor, I'm not sure that I agree with you that your bill would have that reported out to ICE. If it's a misdemeanor.
Again, you would need a judicial warrant after his arrest and been detained from there.
You'd have to have the warrant,
yes.
though, right? Okay. Don't you think that maybe it should just be automatically reported with this list? I mean, we have them here illegally to begin with.
I don't think it should be automatic.
Okay. You don't think that should be automatic?
No.
Some of these crimes,
I think that obviously, we're not here, again, to change the criminal court system here. What we're saying is that if there is a process to remove someone from for deportation purposes after they've been detained, that they should be issued a judicial warrant to be held for the purposes of Homeland Security or ICE agents to come in and have that process held. Our local municipalities should not be acting as ICE agents in this proceeding. The feds should pick them up, which they have the resources to do so. As a matter of fact, there's just been funding that's been put in to add 10,000 new Border Patrol agents that are going to be coming in to deal with this issue, and deportation agents as well. 5,000, I think, are added for deportation purposes coming in from this administration, which would go to answer a lot of these problems that are being brought up here.
Right, but under your bill, how long would the local law enforcement be allowed to detain them to give ICE, the federal agency, who we really should be working hand in hand with, in the interest of Homeland Security, but how long would your bill allow them to detain the person?
Well, with a warrant, it's 48 hours.
With a warrant, right?
Yeah.
So,
but that's what ICE asks for. ICE says 48 hours.
ICE says 48 hours. Okay, I got you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moya. I may be back, but thank you very much.